All right, how to do your trade setups with time and price. This is probably going to be the easiest way of doing technical analysis in the market, and I'll explain exactly why. First of all, if you're in the members area, you should go into courses and advanced trader training. There are a few more things I'm going to add here, but just go over this stuff here, all right? Because I've put everything in here with videos as well, and it's like really easy to do, and that's me with a bad haircut. But with the technical analysis, you see I've got here demand supply. It's actually cause and consequence with gaps and order blocks, and that's all really you need, which I'm going to just talk about today. So if you are doing time and price with Global Trader Club, the only thing you need to know is where they bought heavy and sold heavy. That is all. This is a daily chart. As you can see, the market's been going sideways for ages, and then it had a breakout to the upside. This is still overall, if you look at it from a long-term perspective, right? If I go to the weekly, all right, after an ABC, remember I said this ABC was going to happen, and then afterwards we'd take off. So that's exactly what the market did. And on the daily, all you have to do is just draw your lines. This is where the market ended in June, and as you can see, the full month of July, it's just been going up and down, up and down, up and down. So where did you need to trade if you wanted to trade gold? You wanted to buy the lows and sell the highs. Why this? Because that's your breakout bar. All right, this breakout bar business is explained in the videos. So what you wanted to really do all month long until the breakout, and I'll explain that breakout situation later, was this is the low, that's the pin bar, buying the low, selling the high. That was it. This is the only thing you could have done on trade days. Now go back to, if you want to test it out, go back to the courses, come into the portal. Let's take a look at July, because July is going to the archive, and what you'll see here in the archive is the cycle edge reports. Now you won't be able to see the cycle edge reports from the past here, but if you click on July, it'll download a zip file for the 5 assets that I do here. If you want anything custom, get in touch. But other than that, cycle edge reports are only going to be gold, euro, dollar, Bitcoin, SB 500, NASDAQ, and Dow Jones. And I've put here a cycle edge user guide. Just click it, download it. It'll help you understand what's going on here, but it's really, really easy. Watch the videos I do daily, and then you'll understand what's going on. So all you have to do is check where they bought heavy, sold heavy, and align yourself with that time and with that price zone, and then check if it's a trade day or not. If it is a trade day, then that's it. The lows you are going to buy. If I take a look at July, let's take a look. All right, let's just do this. Okay, so I've opened up the July. Now this is the first format. Remember, the new format you're going to have is much easier. It's just going to be a beautiful summary, and that's it with the days. So let's take a look. This is July up to the 4th of July. So Monday the 29th of June to the Saturday 4th of July. Obviously Saturday is not a trading day, so 3rd of July is what we're going to take. The trade days, the best ones, the 3-star ones, it's already telling us, look, it's Wednesday, July the 1st, Thursday, July the 2nd. So what I want to know and what I want to do is, before that, how to set myself up. So this is the first day, and this is the second day. All right, so July 1st, July 2nd. So I already want to know where the market sold and where the market stopped the buck. Okay, wherever it stopped, that's your support. You can also go backwards. Okay, so all you have to do is say, well, look, this is a zone which is coming from here, right? So initially, when we were doing the technical analysis for this, remember we had this coming in all the way from there. So we said, okay, you know what, if we are in this zone and it's a trade day, we'd like to go long, and that was the way to go. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. Now we're back here. So if you just open up your report, then the only thing that's really going to do is let's just do that. July. Look out for July 1, July 2. We are in the zone at the low. So that's July 1 going into that zone on July 2nd. Okay, and that's it. July 1, July 2, Wednesday, Thursday. All good. All right. Why not Monday, Tuesday? Well, because that's got 3 stars. It's telling me this is critical contact, so better take that. Okay. Do I have anything else in the macro alerts? Well, I'll be looking at these as well. And it's got Saturday, July 4. Obviously, that's, like I said, not a trade day. So we'll look out for Friday. Friday is the 3rd, which is there. So the market has gone from Tuesday, Wednesday into Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sorry, into Friday from the lows. Nice and easy. Okay, and that was Monday, Tuesday. So remember, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Why Friday? Well, because Saturday, it's already given to us. Remember, why do I have a Saturday? Because Saturday will pull Friday into it, and Sunday will push Monday into it. So Sunday is like a push into a Monday, and Saturday is like a pull for a Friday. So this is why I have Sunday to Saturday, because cycles don't stop simply because, you know, we stop trading or the markets are on holiday. They'll keep working, and knowing about it is important. So that was that, right? So let's go to the next one. These are all the details regarding, that's the monthly. Let's move into the next one. All right, so these are the daily stuff which you guys already know. But here I just want to give you guys the heads up for the setups, right? So then I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now look, this has got 4 days. So I'm thinking to myself, well, look, if there are 4 days here, let me just check where I can do actionable notes, okay? So it's already telling me, look, Monday, July 6 is good. All right, this is the highest conviction turning point candidate. So even though I've got 4 days here, it's already giving me Monday as well. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's 5 days off the week. Okay, so obviously this is going to be a critical week, and we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, high priority. So how to decide with something like that? Well, obviously, if this is going to be a high priority week, I better keep my eyes open. Knowing this is also good information, because you know something's going to be happening, and look at what is happening. This is Friday. The first thing is Monday. Remember what it wrote for Monday, our highest conviction date. Already knowing that, okay, is important. This week reaches a 22-way peak on Monday, July the 6th. An extreme day. Multiple independent methods simultaneously flag this date. So that day is important. Now just note, why do I always say read the weekly insight, right? Because it's going to give you some information. And then I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, so the whole week is nutty. But look what's happening here. Monday, once we're in the zone where the market sold off before, and Monday is a high conviction day, even if you do nothing there, Tuesday is your daddy. Market coming down. Now look, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, look what's happening here. Wednesday is midweek. We are back down to where the market bought before. It sounds crazy. It is crazy. Now look at that, Wednesday. So the market comes back to the same place where they bought. So on Wednesday they buy, and it's a trade day. Look what's happening now. Thursday going up, And we've got Thursday and Friday. Where are we coming back to? To the edge of the box. Thursday, Friday. And then we're going back down. So that week is done. But just see how logical it is. Okay, we're just moving between levels at trade days, at prices. And I haven't even touched the hours yet. This is just your trade setups. Once you have the TSM as well, let me get rid of this line. You're going to get pricing as to, well, where we're going to get in, where we're going to buy, where we're going to sell. And these will be all here, right, when we got the lines here. So, for example, what would have happened here is we would have had, let me just do this, we would have had this and this drawing two lines, okay? And you see that's where the market bounces up. And then that would change as the market moves up, it'll change, okay? And then we'll have the resistance line changing as well, so we'll know where to buy, where to sell. You see, it'll give us a price. You want to sell there, okay? That's the top, and the market at the end of that day, Thursday, sells off, and then we're coming back down into the same zone. And as the market conditions change, it's going to give me another line. It's going to say, you know what, market conditions are changing, here we are. So now we're buying on the line. As new market conditions change, it's going to adapt, it's going to upgrade itself every time. Once we have that changed, it's going to do that, and it's going to say, okay, now that's the line. When is this line going to happen? When that bar closes. And then it's going to give me a price. Now look where it's giving me a price on that bar. What date is that? That's the 16th of July. Well, let's carry on. Let's take a look at the next week, right? So let's scroll all the way down. Like I said, the new report that's coming out in September is going to be much more summary. As you can see, we've got days here as well, a drain day. As you can see, like Monday the 13th of July. So let's take a look at this. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 13th to the 17th of July. Let's see what we have. So we've got Monday, 13th of July. And now I've got, look, Tuesday and Wednesday. That's like 3 days in a row. I've got a high priority here that's happening on Tuesday, Wednesday. So I better be careful on that one. Okay, and then I've got also this week reaches a 27 way peak on a Monday. So I'm on a bit of a dilemma, right? So we're going to take a look at Monday. Now, if we're playing around those tight ranges, okay, and we've got a bunch of dates like this, you see the dates aren't going to waste, as you can see here, because on the dates, if we're at the price level, you can get in. So let's take a look at that week and see. So I've got Monday the 13th of July, then I've got 14, 15 happening, and Monday the 13th, it's telling me, look, this is the critical peak, okay? And it's also telling me this is high priority. So they're like, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're all on high priority. Let's check it out. Monday the 13th of July. This is the 13th of July. Now look, Friday selling the edges, bang, Monday down. You're just following through. And let's take a look at what the report told us on Monday. So I've got all the dates in advance. So what are we expecting on Monday, right? Look, Monday, tension. It's a drain day, all right? So we already know that it's a drain day. Shall I make it a little bit bigger for you? All right, and let me just widen this up. All right, so it's a drain day, and I've got alert windows here. So these are going to be like exhaustion blow off. Now that's a nice time period to look for a sell. Okay, between 9:15 and 12:35. We can check that out later when we look at some hours. But today, let's just look at how to set up with days. So Monday, it's a drain day. Okay, we're looking for places where we can sell off. Okay, and that's it. Market coming down. Now look where we're at again. We're in this zone. Remember, we mark this zone in. So that's a Monday. Now I've got Monday, and so what we can do is just Tuesday. That's your Tuesday. So Monday, we're in the zone. Tuesday, Wednesday, it's all off the zone. If you are in the buy zone, you're in the buy zone, and that's it. So all you have to do is follow it through. So that's your Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right, Monday down, Tuesday, Wednesday going to the upside. It's all common sense. Okay, and then I've got, that's your Tuesday, Wednesday selling in. Obviously nothing to do here on a Wednesday. Why is there nothing to do on a Wednesday? For one very good reason. You're in the middle of nowhere. You are not in a buy zone, you're not in a sell zone. So on Wednesday you don't do anything. There's nothing to do. So that is over. We're in, we've bought, and you're out. Okay, now we can do, so let's take a look at the next weekend. Alright, so this is Sunday 19 to Saturday 25. So I've got Sunday, Monday, priority. Then I've got Thursday, Friday. So let's take a look at Monday first. Monday the 20th. So Monday is there. Alright, the 20th. We had a Friday, up day. Monday, we're in a buy zone. That's your Monday. Okay, and then I've got Thursday 23, Friday 24. So the 23rd, that's your 23rd, and that's your 24th. So that is the one to do to the downside. Okay, why? Because that's on the edge of, that is where they sold before. Okay, and that's your Friday, right? Let's check it out. 22nd, 23rd, 24th, that's your Friday. So Thursday, Friday coming in. Okay, so all you have to do is just check, are we at a place where we want to, where we want to trade? If so, we are going to the upside or we're going to the downside. Now the following week, let's take a look at the following week. So let's go all the way down. Once we get over these individual days, first comes the days, remember, and then we have the weekly inside. So then I've got July 26th to the 1st of August, and I've got Monday the 27th, got Wednesday, Thursday 29 to 30. So let's take a look at Monday 27. Now look, this is also a sideways market. This is the most tricky one. This is 27th. Now here you don't do anything. You say, wait a minute, we haven't touched any place. If we had gone up here, then yeah, sell it off. Okay, if we'd come down here, yeah, buy it. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, don't do anything. Okay, so that's the 27. Then I've got 28, 29, 30. Let's take a look. What were the other dates? Had 29, 30. So let's take a look at the 29th. This is your 29. So we can buy on the 29. Why? Because this is a buy zone. This is where we bought before. So this is the 29. Okay, and the market's gone up, as you can see. And on the 30th it's gone up as well. But on the 30th there's nothing really to do except you can follow the trade to go up there. Okay, or if you sold, you can follow the trade to go down here. So it doesn't mean you can't trade anything on an inside day, but it's not the place to like really start a trade. You can follow through on those days, and that's fine if you know where you are, where your playground is, where you're playing between levels. And then the next one is, I guess it's this one, right? Because we're supposed to be on the 1st. Yeah, so that's the 30th, and that's the 31st, and that is the 3rd of August. So if I go in to the 3rd of August one, that's the trading day, that's the trading day, that's the trading day. So here we are, and you can see this is a breakout. So the only thing the market can do now is go up and above. So if we broke out, we just get rid of that, and what we can do is get rid of that and get rid of that, and now just redraw our adjusting line. So we just say, okay, you know what, this is our new box. So if we come down here on a trading day, we want to be buyers, aren't we? That's what we're going to be. And then we've got a place, now that we ended up here, this is going to be our sell zone, right? Why? Because this caused the breakdown. Okay, if I go back a little bit, okay, so what do I have here? This is the zone, right? Here we are. This is what we broke, and what caused it? It's that bar that caused the breakdown. So that's fine. And now we can say this zone is where we'd like to sell. Okay, I'm not going into the pricing at the moment. I'll do another video on the indicators, on all of them, that I prepared for the MetaTrader 5. If you go to there's a manual obviously for all of them. Once you download, there's like a manual for each and every one of them, but I'll do a video as well. But you see, this is how easy it is. It's just practical if you know where you bought and sold, where the market sold, where they bought, where they sold. Even if you don't want to draw boxes, I recommend to draw boxes, because you can get really specific with the pricing, with TSM or with whatever you're using. Like I said, you don't have to use any indicator. As you can see, this is a blank chart. The only reason I have TSM is because I rely on its pricing, and for me it's like nice when time and price meet. It's beautiful trade. So same thing here, you can just draw your lines if you want. This is a place where the market sold, and there's a gap there. You see the gap, right? So I'm paying attention to the gap. The market's filling it in nice and easy. We're all bearish, we haven't broken above that yet, and that's all fine. So this is a place where I can sell at trade days. I can wait for a U-turn, I can go to a smaller time frame, wait for a reaction, pullback, sell off. I can do all that. And then where am I going to target? Well, I'm going to target the gap, okay, that we need to close. This is why I draw boxes instead of drawing two lines. Just bring your box, set it up. If we come back down here, we want to go back up. Okay, so that's basically it. And anybody wants to sell here, again, box yourself in, and that's your sell zone. So selling here, all you have to do then is go to the 15-minute chart. Let's check it out. And on the 15-minute chart, look, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's all done at the same place. If you want to check out the trading hours, definitely watch the videos, and you'll see that most of the time we get the hours right. If not, you know, obviously not all the time, but a lot of the times you'll see that we've got a price, we've got a time, let's just trade it, and then it just falls down, falls down. Why? Because we're at a good level, plus we've got the time on our side, and this is a basic just support and resistance, call it whatever you like. There's just only three things the market can do. We're either going to go sideways, we've got to go up, or we're going to go down. And if you know where we went down before, if it's a trade day and you got your hours and you did your technical analysis, and this is all you have to do on your daily, just draw these levels. If it's a trade day, do it. If you broke out, you know where you're going because you've done your technical analysis, and you say to yourself, well, wait a minute, this is a breakout, we're going all the way to the next level. And what is the next level? Well, the next level is where they sold heavy, okay, and this is heavy sell-off. For us it is anyway, because we're like day trading or keeping a trade open for a few days, and that's basically it. So that is a setup you can use.